I hope the krautrock heads among you enjoyed today's thumbnail. But yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. I hope everyone had a good one. It is January 3rd, 2026. Got to get used to saying that one. The day of the full moon, though. The wolf moon. Hey, wolf moon. That's one for the typo negative fans out there. Actually, that's kind of a good segue into something I wanted to talk about today. One of my New Year's resolutions is to get better at singing. And I've sort of realized, Peter Steele's voice on those typo negative songs is kind of like, it's a very comfortable range for me. I'm sort of tempted to start playing around with like typo negative tunings just to like see how I fit into that tonality. And I'll be the first to admit I'm not a very technically proficient singer, but I think technical proficiency, your range, all of that stuff is just one aspect of being a good singer. A lot of it I feel like is being tactical. And what I mean by that is like knowing what keys serve your voice. And I think the same goes for any craft, like with acting. Like Tom Cruise, he's not the best actor in the world, right? But he clearly has a manager who understands what roles fit him. Like I'm sure his agent gets like a screenplay and is like, oh, look at all these action one-liners and self-performed stunts. Oh, Tom is going to love reading this almost as much as he loves reading Dianetics. Haha. But no, seriously, the same goes for singing. Like, I want to experiment a little more and try and take advantage of my modal voice a little bit better. I don't really identify as a singer. The reason I sing on my songs is because I don't really have anyone else to do it. And at this point, I really just feel like I'm being called to step into that role. A bit like John McCree from Cake, actually. I think he had a similar story. He wanted to be a songwriter for other people. And, no one else would take his song. So he started a band and he kind of does his little slacker talk singing thing, which is great. Honestly, there's a lot of character in his voice, I feel like. But yeah, what's your New Year's resolution? Leave a comment down below. And don't be one of those people who's like, I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. What the fuck is wrong with you? Do you have no ambition? I'm kidding, of course. I actually used to sympathize with that view, but I'm a little more sympathetic to the traditional symbolic meaning of the numeric year changing. I mean, I guess it is kind of a moot point. I don't know. Every dating system is completely arbitrary and relative. The ancient Romans, they never were like, yes, it is year 310 of the Republic. They had a whole different system where it was like, it's year 7 of Nero's reign or whatever. Like depending on how quickly the Praetorian Guard assassinated a given emperor, you could have, an era that lasted 6 months or one that lasted 60 years. Just talking about it seems very strange, but the idea that we're in the 3rd millennium of our dating system is kind of strange as well, Like, sure, we've renamed Anno Domini to, like, the Common Era or whatever to make it more secular, but we're still, 2026 years into this thing. And if you're using the Muslim calendar, then you're like halfway through the 2nd millennium of your dating system. My point is, these have been around a long time. I'm just like wondering, are we going to get another year 0? Can you even have a year 0 in our world? Maybe it'll be the AI singularity, Year 0 of the great unleashing. Anyway, I was kind of hoping to inaugurate the new year with a new song and a new recording session, but I'm still actually waiting on some patch cables so I can use all my guitar pedals together. 2026, the year of the pedal board. You know what? That's a great idea for a dating system right there. We should just adopt the Infinite Jest subsidized time year of the MXR pedal board. That's what it should be. Maybe that's a little too niche. Maybe it should be the year of the Sweetwater Sound. That actually sounds pretty nice, If I were the Infinite Jest subsidized time czar, I would totally reach out to Sweetwater and be like, "Hey, you guys want to sponsor the year?" Just to be clear, I've never read Infinite Jest. I'm a pseudo intellectual. What can I say? All I know is that it's a fiction book with footnotes for some reason. It's about French Canadians playing tennis, and it's about a capitalist hellscape, not too different from our own. Oh, the entertainment. I also know about the entertainment, which, let's be honest, is just the internet. I think that's a reason I haven't felt the need to read Infinite Jest. It's like, I'm living it, man. I'm in the scroll, okay? Anyway, I apologize for my hiatus. I have one of those jobs where there's a holiday rush, so a lot of my life for the last month has just been grinding at work, coming home, eating a surfeit of holiday treats, and just kind of hard chilling, as it were. I've also been in a very receptive as opposed to initiatory state lately. I think anyone who's worked on music can relate to that. Sometimes you can't make anything new until you look at your art form through a new lens. And believe it or not, I've actually been using the John Williams Star Wars score to re-examine my relationship with music. Just learning how he composed some of those pieces is very illuminating. Like on Duel of the Fates, he apparently translated a Welsh poem into Sanskrit for the choral parts and is like using like harmonic minor to like get this really ancient temple-like sound. And it's super interesting because the whole conflict of the Phantom Menace is that this ancient enemy has revealed themselves. So yeah, John Williams, the true auteur of Star Wars. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of like sonic portraiture like that. Brian Eno, that's another guy who does that really well. If you've never heard Another Green World, I suggest you listen to that whole album. But I love the song Somber Reptiles off of it. Listen to that song and try not to imagine a geeked out chameleon chilling on a rock in like the Sonora Desert or something. Like the vibe is just on point. But yeah, when someone's able to use music as like a symbolic language, I find that super impressive. And yeah, I'd say that's another resolution of mine this year. I want to dip my toes into the world of representational music. And actually, you know, at a certain point, a lot of this is like I'm resolving to build more musical experience this year. A lot of the stuff you can only learn by experience. And for better or for worse, I'm still kind of like in that experimental phase of being a budding songwriter. You know, I'm still impressed that I can even record shit. So all the higher minded stuff is still kind of secondary to just getting a song done. But yeah, in any event, I hope you join me for the ride. And again, I hope you had a happy new year. If you made it this far in the video, please leave a like down below, subscribe if you want. My name's Luke Exuberance. I've been the Public Universal Bandmate, and I will see you at our next rehearsal. Peace.